Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 6th of September, comes to you from London. And we start just quickly looking at the energy markets. We're seeing a lot of green on the screen here. The main concern is crude oil, still down 1% this morning. This was the point where we made the lower high, then the lower low. And since we've made that higher, lower low, that's the Dow theory, of course. There is the risk that that is the beginning of a new downtrend. Not showing up yet in the very short-term targets. We do have a downside target, some 20% lower on the daily chart, but this is looking like the beginning of a new downtrend in crude oil, and that will show up on the daily cloud chart. We'll come back to that, but that's just the backdrop in terms of energy. In terms of other markets, we're seeing a lot of green on the screen. The dollar index still looking relatively weak, although it's looking like it might be finding support around this 92 level. So we're really waiting for a concisive break to a new higher high there. So at the moment we still are waiting for that turnaround on the dollar, so just short-term weakness at the moment. That means the euro is looking stronger in the short term, but again we're waiting for a lower low here. Against the yen, we've fallen back through the 110 level, so relatively static in currencies. Sterling sitting at 138 against the US dollar, and against the euro we're sitting at 116.70, so looking a bit stronger there for sterling this morning. Bitcoin is holding the $50,000 mark, bullish on all three time frames. The long-term target is $83,000. The S&P 500 index was a little changed last week. We see here just a little candle there. It's continuing to just edge up the hill very steadily. This does mean that if the trend breaks, it will become very clear when it's breaking, but for the moment we're just edging higher. The Nasdaq also up 0.3%, and the futures up slightly this morning. The S&P mini up 0.17 and the Nasdaq up nearly 0.3. So it does look like markets will open slightly higher. The VIX volatility sitting steady at 16. No real changes there, so the fear index is not a concern. FTSE future up 0.5% this morning. The DAX in Germany, the cash market up 0.5%, and Paris up 0.5%. So we're seeing European markets all edging higher. Tokyo is up 1.4%. That's looking like a potential breakout, so that's looking quite strong there. If we look at the chart there, we can see that sort of move through the line, so that's very strong. And if we look at the Hang Seng, it was up 1%. Shanghai Composite was up 1%. Big falls in July. We've recovered all of that and more. So China looking strong again. And the Sensex in India up 1/3%, looking strong there, pushing to that target sum 50% higher. So the Indian market looking very strong. Aussie market was up slightly. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Gold sitting at 18.26, so edging ever higher, and silver also pushing back through that $24 mark, so looking stronger there as well. Platinum and palladium up as well. US 10-year yield sitting at 1.33%, so we're bullish on the short-term chart. We need to break really this 137 level to activate the new targets up into the 170s, but we're all waiting for that to happen. Looking at the energy mix, we talked about crude oil, so it's just watching for a breakdown. It'll show up first on the 1 minute targets. This is my daily and my 60-minute chart. This is my daily, 60-minute and 1 minute, so long-term, medium-term and short-term view of the market. In fact, this is really medium-term, short-term and very short-term, so not yet showing up on the 1 minute targets. WTI is similar picture there. US nat gas looking very strong at the moment. We've got targets to 503 on the 60-minute chart, 479, 477. We're sitting at 474 at the moment. This is continuing to look very bullish still. RBOB is looking a little bit less strong, bearish below the cloud there. Looking at coal, no stopping coal, sitting at $120 a ton, looking very, very strong indeed, with upside targets there as well. Emissions sitting at 62 this morning, so that's a new high, pushing higher. We've got all these upside targets to play for. The shorter term not as clear, but still looking very bullish as a chart. That means that the UK emissions chart is also looking pretty strong. We've got a target here some 12% higher on the 1 minute chart, given that we don't have a lot of history yet for the daily chart, but it's still looking pretty bullish. Gas markets continuing to rise. MBP up 3% this morning, 134. Who would have believed 134? We were sitting at 40 just under 6 months ago, so it's really rocketed there. If we look at TTF, much the same picture here. New highs, lots of upside targets there. If we look at the seasonal on TTF, this is the OTC seasonal, looking pretty strong here as well, upside targets. German power breaking 90 euros for the first time in a long, long time, multiple 12 years, and we've got further upside potential here on these targets. We've given you the big upside targets for German power, so looking still very strong. Keep an eye on your OTC 1-minute charts. Nordic power also looking strong this morning, up 4% on the CAL on Nordic power, and up 5.5% on the quarterly with upside targets, so looking very strong there indeed. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.